dear students, welcome to the course of Engineering Thermodynamics. Myself Mihir Mistry, Assistant Professor of Mechanical Department at LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. So today we are going to continue our session on second law of thermodynamics. In previous session, that is lecture number 1 of second law of thermodynamics, we have already covered certain topics like limitations of first law of thermodynamics, then other was Kelvin-Planck statement and the PMM2. Right. Now we will today discuss about Clausius statement, and further we will discuss about cyclic refrigeration plant and heat pump, and we will also see how COP of refrigeration and heat pump is related. Okay, so let us continue our session. So very first is Clausius statement. So as you can see in this diagram, see two reservoirs are shown over here. The first one is hot reservoir and this is cold reservoir. So hot reservoir temperature is denoted by TH, and remember students, TH is greater than TL, right? Now let us understand this phenomena. So what is Clausius statement? It is impossible for a device operating in a cycle to transfer heat from low body temperature to high body temperature without any work done. Okay, I am repeating again myself. It is impossible for a device operating in a cycle to produce or to transfer heat from low temperature reservoir to high temperature reservoir without consuming any work. Okay, so this is what the second law or Clausius statement is. Okay, so now we will understand that. Okay, that statement, let us elaborate again. It is impossible for a cyclic device. Okay, that means what? The processes should occur that such that it shall constitute a cycle. Okay, so for it is impossible for a cyclic device to transfer heat. So heat is nothing but this Q. Okay, to transfer heat from low body temperature. So we know that this is high body temperature. Sir, how do you know that? Because here I have written TH is greater than TL. That means by obviously this is nothing but low temperature reservoir. Okay, so to transfer heat from low body temperature, that is this much Q amount of heat is taken from this reservoir. It is transferred from this device to this high body temperature reservoir, that is what? Hot temperature reservoir. Okay, so what Clausius told us, that it is impossible to transfer heat from low body temperature to high body temperature without any work done. That means what? You are not having any work input in this device, though this device is transferring heat from low body to high body. So that is not possible. Okay, such a device is not possible. If it is practically, then just assume that your refrigerator at home, the supply to the refrigerator is switched off. Still your milk or water which is present in the refrigerator is getting cold. Is it possible? No, it is not possible. So that is what the statement of Clausius is, or it is also known as second law of statement of Clausius. Clear? Now let's move further. Cyclic refrigeration plant. Okay, so now what is cyclic refrigeration plant? So simple. In detail we will discuss about vapor compression refrigeration cycles during our refrigeration cycle chapter, but here as of now we will discuss how the components of cyclic refrigeration plant are acting. Okay, and how the performance of the cyclic refrigeration plant can be evaluated. Okay, so for understanding purpose, what we will do is we will start from this point number 1 over here. See students, first let us identify what are the devices associated over here. So you will pay attention in the left hand side figure. Okay, that is first figure, that is nothing but block diagram of the refrigeration plant. So as you can see, the very first is compressor device. We are identifying the device only. Okay, then second is condenser, then third is expander, and the fourth is evaporator. Okay, so you are aware now that there are 4 devices in this cyclic refrigeration plant, that is compressor, condenser, expander and evaporator. Clear? Now we will start from point number 1. So at the inlet of point number 1, that is compressor inlet. So at the inlet, vapor refrigerant, okay, vapor refrigerant will enter. Now remember students, there will be a fluid which will be rotating through these devices. Okay, in cyclic motion it will rotate again and again. Okay, so that fluid will be known as nothing but refrigerant. Okay, so that will be known as refrigerant. Clear? I hope you are clear with this thing. Okay, so this refrigerant will be in vapor form at the inlet of this compressor. Okay, so that will be in the vapor form. Now what will happen? The compressor will do what? It will compress the vapor. So pressure and temperature of this vapor refrigerant will increase, right? So from here, the refrigerant which is having high pressure and high temperature will transfer to point number 2. Clear? Now what will happen? See here at point number 2, your refrigerant is in the vapor form. It is having high pressure and high temperature. Now condenser will do what? Simple. Condenser will condense the vapor which is here, vapor to liquid refrigerant. Okay, so it will simply convert the vapor to the liquid. That is the function of condenser. Okay, from name itself we can identify, right? Now let us understand what will happen. Now physically think that, logically, that if you want to convert vapor to liquid, then you will have to absorb the heat or reject the heat. Okay, so simple, it will have to reject the heat, right? To convert the vapor to the liquid, you have to reject the heat. So here also what will happen? This condenser is rejecting the heat to this atmosphere. See, that is why I have written over here Q1. Okay, so I hope now you are clear, right? So we have reached up to this point, right? Point number 3. So what will happen at point number 3? You have liquid refrigerant. Now this liquid refrigerant is having high pressure, right? High pressure. So what will happen? We are expanding it. Now sir, what is the meaning of expansion? So recall the piston cylinder arrangement. If the piston is traveling toward the outlet center, then the gas inside it will experience what? Expansion. Recall, for ease of understanding, just as of now, let us assume that you are sitting in your bedroom or hall. Okay, so what will happen? Just assume that the walls of that bedroom are expanding, going toward outward side. So that is nothing but expansion. So air inside that room will feel what? Expansion, right? So if expansion is done, then what will happen? The pressure will decrease. So here also that process is taking place. That is what? Here also the expansion is taking place. So this high pressure liquid is converted into low pressure liquid. Clear, students? Right? That is the work of expander. Always remember, students, expander will have opposite nature of compressor. Okay, your compressor is doing what? It is converting low pressure into high pressure, right? At this point you will have high pressure, right? Pardon me with the writing, okay, but you can appreciate that the expander will have opposite nature of the compressor, right? Now let us move further. So here at this point we have liquid at low pressure. So this liquid is further passed into the evaporator. Now evaporator, from name itself you can identify its function. What is the function? It will convert the liquid into the vapor form. Clear? Now in order to convert the liquid into vapor, what you can do? You have to absorb the heat, right? For example, if you want to convert the water into steam, then you have to give the heat supply to the water, right? Then and then the water will be converted into the steam, right? So here also it will take place like that. That liquid refrigerant is converted into vapor. So in order to do this conversion, you have to externally supply this heat, that is Q2. Clear? So this is what happens over here, right? So now further what will happen? You have a vapor refrigerant. This vapor refrigerant is again sent back to the compressor, and this compressor will do what? It will, you have here low vapor, low pressure vapor, and this low pressure vapor is here further converted into, is converted into high pressure vapor, right? High pressure vapor. Clear? So this is how the refrigeration plant will take place. Now observe, students, this all processes are occurring in anti-clockwise manner. Always remember that power producing cycle will take place in clockwise manner and power consuming cycle will take place in anti-clockwise manner. Sir, what do you mean by power consuming cycle? So remember, at your home, air conditioner, refrigerator are nothing but power consuming cycle, because they are consuming the power and they are doing the effect. Which is, what is the effect? cooling effect. Okay, so these are power consuming devices, and power producing device means what? It will produce the power. For example, turbine. Clear? I hope you are clear up to this point. Now further, as you can see on the right hand side, second diagram is plotted. So this whole process of cyclic refrigeration plant can be represented in block diagram as shown over here. So here in block diagram we have these four components, right? These four components, this one, this one, this one, and this one. These all four components are shown over here. See, C1 that means compressor, C2 that means condenser, E2 that means expander, and E1 that means evaporator. Clear? So all four processes are represented over here. So whenever this kind of symbol is represented, then you shall appreciate that here a cyclic refrigeration plant is working, but it is denoted in form of block diagram. Clear? Now what will happen? See over here, from this body the refrigeration plant is extracting some heat, and it is further transferring this heat to the higher temperature. Now always remember, dear students, here that this temperature will be low temperature and this temperature will be high temperature, because always in order to transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature you will require certain work input. So that work input is done over here. See, that is nothing but compressor work. Now question might arise in your mind that, sir, here expander work is also occurring. So remember student, in refrigeration compression work is much more larger than expander work. So you can neglect this expander work majority of the time. So that is why compressor work is calculated. Okay, so that means what? Here if you recall, in general, then what is happening? In general, simple, you are consuming some work, and by consuming this work you are transferring heat from low body temperature to high body temperature. Simple, right? So this is what is happening. Clear? Okay, I will keep up to this point, this topic. Now let's move forward. Now as you can see, energy in is equal to energy out. That is first law, right? So from that what we can conclude is, let us identify now efficiency or the effectiveness of cyclic refrigeration plant is defined by COP. So COP, this COP is nothing but coefficient of performance. Okay, COP, that is nothing but coefficient of performance. So COP is nothing but desired effect divided by work done, right? Now let us understand this phenomena clearly. So see here students, what is happening here? This body A is nothing but this thing. Now evaporator, this evaporator is extracting the heat, because evaporator function is what? Evaporator function is to convert this liquid refrigerant into vapor refrigerant, right? Low pressure liquid refrigerant into low pressure vapor refrigerant. Now what will happen? In order to convert this liquid into vapor, this evaporator has to absorb some heat. So this evaporator is absorbing the heat, this evaporator is absorbing the heat from this body, right? This body, pardon me, this evaporator is absorbing the heat like this from this body. So this body is nothing but the refrigeration section of your refrigerator. Clear? You are opening the door, so if whatever you see, that is nothing but this body A. Clear? I hope you are clear up to this point. So let us say here you have kept, in this body you have kept a water bottle, right? Or you have kept, you have kept a water bottle, or you have kept fruits or vegetables, right? So these all are kept in this body A. Okay, so this water bottle or fruit or vegetable will have certain heat, right? So that heat is consumed by this evaporator. So you might not see the evaporator, but at the back side, if you open the door of the refrigerator, so at the backside panel in that refrigerator, you will see certain lines, zigzag lines like this. See, like this, white color lines, right? You will see the panel like this at the back side. Okay, but I am talking about the open back. Okay, inside the refrigerator, remember that you have to open that refrigerator, and at the front you will observe wall like this. So this is nothing but the evaporator section. Okay, so this evaporator section, through that evaporator section, that tubes, the refrigerant will pass, and this liquid refrigerant will do what? It will absorb the heat from the fruits, vegetables, water and milk, and it will convert into vapor. Okay, so this is how it is taking place, right? Further, what will happen? It is going to the compressor, and further it is going to condenser. Now this condenser section is nothing but the outside of the refrigerator. So if you have old refrigerator at your home, then you will observe black colored mat, right? Black colored mat. Let me draw it over here. So if you observe the back side of the refrigerator, then you might observe a net like this, in which certain pipes or black color net will be there, right? Like this. Pardon me with the diagram, but you will observe some net like this if you have old refrigerator. So that is nothing but the condenser section. Okay, so that is rejecting the heat to the atmosphere. Clear? In case of air conditioner, this condenser is nothing but the outside unit of your room, and this evaporator is nothing but the inside unit of your room. In case of air conditioner, yes students, air conditioner and refrigeration both have same fundamental working principle. Okay, no change. Now here it is expander. Okay, I hope you are clear up to this point. Now let us come back to our main discussion, that is COP. So COP is nothing but desired effect upon work done. So here our desired effect is what? Now let us identify our this block diagram. So in this block diagram, if you recall, if you are dealing with refrigerator, this is most important. If you are dealing with refrigerator, then your desired effect is what? To cool something, right? So now remember, here the temperature is TL, here the temperature is TH, or for your understanding, here the temperature which is desirable is 10 degrees Celsius. Here the temperature which is not desirable but atmospheric temperature, that is what? 30 degrees Celsius, right? So now your desired effect is what? To maintain this 10 degrees Celsius temperature throughout the day. That is the desired effect. That is your purpose or desire. Okay, so this is how you will identify the desired effect. I am highlighting or speaking loudly this section. Why? Because it is very important. Many students do what? They are cramming this thing. That is desired effect. So you do not need to cram this. Okay, just understand the phenomena. Desired effect for refrigeration is what? The portion in refrigeration, the purpose is what? To cool something. So to cool something, so that means what? The low temperature area is the area where you will cool, right? Because you want to maintain this low temperature. Okay, so that is your desired effect. So in order to achieve this desired effect, what you can do is, you have to constantly reject Q2 amount of heat, or you have to constantly pull or extract Q2 amount of heat from this reservoir. Then and then the temperature will maintain at 10 degrees Celsius. Agree? Right? So that is why instead of this desired effect, I have written Q2 over here. Clear? I am repeating again myself, dear students. Pay attention. To maintain this 10 degrees Celsius as constant, you have to constantly extract Q2 amount of heat. Now question might arise in your mind, sir, why this Q2 is shown? What is the meaning of this Q2? So just identify, this thing is nothing but your refrigerator section, right? So this refrigerator section is there. So this is nothing but the heat added from outside atmosphere to the refrigerator. That means what, sir? That means in a single day, you might open the door of the refrigerator 50 times or 25 times. So whenever you are opening the door, you are adding the heat to the refrigerator section. Agree or not? Right? So that heat addition is represented by this Q2. Clear? Okay. So whatever heat you are adding, the same amount of heat you have to extract simultaneously. Then and then you can maintain constant temperature of the refrigerator section. Clear? I hope it is clear to your mind. Now, so this is our desired effect Q2 divided by work done. That is W. Now work done is what? Now in order to understand the work done, what we can do is just simply understand over here. We have a block diagram. Let us say this is our refrigerator ref. I am writing a ref over here, and this refrigerator is, let us say, extracting Q2 amount of heat and giving it Q1 amount of heat to higher temperature reservoir, and in order to do so, it is doing some net work W. Okay, see students, I am writing net work. Net work is nothing but you have to assume that or consider that sir has written difference of compressor work and expander work. Okay, W net means what? Whenever I am writing W net, that is nothing but net work means difference of compressor work and expansion work. Okay, so this W net is done. Now I have already told you energy in is equal to energy out, right? So what I am explaining to you guys is how this W is equal to Q1 minus Q2 is written. I am explaining that point. Okay, now just remember over here in this diagram I have already told you, always remember the funda, energy in is equal to energy out. Now the arrows which is going towards this circle is nothing but energy in. I am repeating again, the arrows which is going towards this circle is nothing but energy in. So if here you can appreciate that this Q2 and this W net is going towards this circle. So this is nothing but energy in. So you can write Q2 plus W net, that is equal to energy out. So energy out is nothing but the arrow away from the circle, that will represent what? Energy out. So arrow away from the circle, going away from the circle is nothing but Q1. So you can write over here Q1. Clear? So now here if you make W net as the subject, so W net is equal to what? Take this Q2 on the right hand side of the equation, you will have Q1 minus Q2. So that is how this Q1 minus Q2 is written. Okay, I hope you are clear up to this point, right? So this is how COP of refrigerator is defined. Clear? Now let's move forward. Cyclic heat pump. Okay, now cyclic heat pump. So in order to understand the cyclic heat pump, same fundamental principle, observe students, same fundamental principle of refrigeration will apply to the heat pump. Okay, except one thing. What is that one thing? Simple. Purpose of refrigerator is what? Or purpose of air conditioner is what? To cool down certain region. Now purpose of heat pump is what? To heat up certain region. Okay, that is the difference between heat pump and refrigerator. Clear? Purpose of heat pump is what? To heat up certain area. For example, in foreign countries or Europe countries, wherever cold weather is there, they used to install heater or heat pump in their homes. Okay, so at there what will happen? Your bedroom is what? The area which you want to heat up, because outside temperature is what? Minus 10 degrees Celsius, and for human comfort minus 10 degrees Celsius is not feasible. So our human comfort temperature shall be around 25 degrees Celsius. So what you will do? You have to heat up that room. So in order to do the heat up, you have to what do? You have to install the heat pump. Okay, and heat pump is nothing but opposite of cyclic refrigeration. Okay, that means what? In function it is opposite, but in fundamental principle it is same. That means what? Heat pump will also, just understand, heat pump will also, here let us say the temperature is TL, that is equal to minus 10 degrees Celsius, and here temperature is TH. Many of you might have questions, sir, you are writing the subscript H and L, that means what? Low and high. Okay, so TH is equal to 25, let us say, degrees Celsius, right? So this is nothing but your room. Okay, room, bedroom of Europe country, and outside ambient temperature of Europe countries, for example, minus 10 degrees Celsius. So now what will happen? The heat pump, just understand, this heat pump is transferring heat from low body temperature to high body temperature by consuming some amount of work. Clear? By consuming some amount of work, that is W net. W net is equal to what, students? Compressor work minus expander work. Clear? Okay, so remember that point in your mind. Now what will happen? See over here, pardon me with the writing. Okay, now what will happen? Let us see over here. So as you can see, here also C1, C2, E2, E1 is written. That is nothing but compressor, condenser, expander and evaporator. So in order to transfer heat from low body temperature to high body temperature, you shall constitute a cycle, and that cycle is equipping condenser, compressor, expander, evaporator. 4 devices: compressor, condenser, expander and evaporator. Okay, so that means what, sir? That means cyclic heat pump is also having fundamental working principle same as cyclic refrigerator. Clear? Now energy in is equal to energy out. So COP of heat pump is equal to what? Now understand. Desired effect. Desired effect. Now what is the effect? Why you are installing heat pump? To heat up the room. So heat up the room, that is, this is your desired effect. Now if you want to maintain this room temperature, then you have to constantly supply this Q1 amount of heat to this room temperature. Right? I am repeating again, dear students. If you want to maintain this temperature as 25 degrees Celsius, because outside your room the temperature is how much? Minus 10 degrees Celsius. So it is nature that heat will flow from high temperature to low temperature. That means this 25 degrees Celsius will not remain as it is by itself. So if you want to maintain 25 degrees Celsius constant room temperature, you have to constantly supply this Q1 amount of heat. Okay, so this Q1 amount of heat is nothing but our desired effect. So desired effect Q1 divided by work done W. Now work done W is equal to Q1 minus Q2 is written same way as explained in previous slide. Clear? So this is COP of heat pump. Now let us identify the correlation of heat pump and refrigeration COP. So as you can see, COP of heat pump minus COP of refrigerator is equal to Q1 divided by Q1 minus Q2 minus Q2 divided by Q1 minus Q2. Remember students, for heat pump Q1 will be there, that is high temperature heat transfer, and for refrigerator Q2 will be there, that is low temperature heat transfer. Clear? Just that is the difference between COP of heat pump and refrigerator. Now what will happen? Here you can see this denominator and this denominator is same. You can take LCM. So you will have Q1 minus Q2. So Q1 minus Q2, Q1 minus Q2 will get cancelled out. You are left with only 1. So COP of heat pump is equal to, we are taking this term on the right hand side of the equal to sign. So COP of heat pump is equal to COP of refrigerator plus 1. Right? So that is what they can ask in examination or interview, that why COP of heat pump is higher than COP of refrigerator. Okay, so at that time you have to explain like this. Clear? So we will keep up to this point. Thank you.